Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's a little it's 5 o'clock, and I'm on the fourth floor of the M Courtier Mall, where you'll find the IMAX. I'm sitting right in the lobby of the movie theater. Over in the corner, you'll see this DHL. It's open until, Boone told me, 7:30 p.m. And like a knucklehead, it really wasn't a mistake, but I brought a document back from my parents' house. I thought I was doing the right thing, safekeeping, on and on. Well, they need that document, as it turns out. So here I am at DHL shipping this thing back to the U.S. I'm not going back anytime soon. 1,500 baht, or 45, 46 U.S. dollars. I don't know if that's terrible. I worked at the post office all my life. I know that express mail, just to go from, say, California to New York, was really creeping up there in price, and I have no idea what it would cost to do international. So I do know here at Thai Post, and again, I have very little experience mailing anything. There was no big hurry. I needed to send my buddy something in Florida, and I just mailed it, and she asked, do I want this? Do I want that? I said, just regular, the regular way, no express, none of that. And it took 29 days to get to Florida. I think she, even at the post office, this was 3 years ago, she might have threw some figure at me that was 1,000 baht or 900 baht. And the other figure was, again, I'm making this up, 105 baht. I'm like, yeah, let's go with that. When it gets there, it gets there. And I had no idea it would take a month. Again, it wasn't a big deal. Now, this DHL, it's Wednesday, it's past 5 o'clock, so she said, this will go out tomorrow on Thursday and will arrive in California on Friday. So, not bad. I guess with the dateline, time changes, on and on. We'll see if it happens, but she certainly didn't say, well, you missed the deadline for today and it's going to go out Thursday at the airport and, give us 6 days to get it to California. She's claiming it will be there. Again, it's Wednesday, 5 o'clock at night. So what is that? 5 in the morning, New York City time on Wednesday. And she's claiming it'll be there Friday. So I'm not really complaining about the 45 bucks on that. I've also seen UPS and FedEx around town. Maybe they're a little bit more, maybe they're a little bit less. I don't know. But if you're caught in a jam like me, I also accidentally brought my mom's car key. Now she has another one and she doesn't even drive. I wanted to keep this simple and not jam a key into the envelope. Again, being an old school mailman, I have seen many envelopes ripped open, and I delivered it and the person said, oh shoot, there was a key in there or something goofy size that got caught up in a machine and jammed it all up. So I just told my mom, I'll bring that key back when I see you, probably towards the end of the year. And I didn't bother putting it in this envelope. But once again, if you have to send something, come on up here to the, whatever this movie theater is called, at the M Courtier. Sin Club, or no, the Sin Club is across the way at the Emporium. I don't know what it's called. The M Courtier movie theater. Oh, it's Sin Art. Sin Art and the IMAX movie theater. Again, Boone told me to come up here, and I'm like, I don't see a DHL. I see a, whatever that is, a bouncy hut. There it is, tucked away in the corner. And the lady was very efficient, spoke perfect English. Not that I expect everybody to speak perfect English, but it's sure a benefit to me. And there you go, 1,000. It was actually 1,400 baht, and she said, get the insurance for 105 baht more. If this document gets lost, you will get between, I think she said, 15 and 17,000 baht insurance. Again, not gonna help me when they need this document, but if it does get lost in that rare occasion, at least you get 15,000 baht back, apparently. And I'm not even sure who's going to deliver it. I asked her, and she said, oh, it'll be DHL. But again, running around the streets of California, I see the FedEx man, the UPS man. I haven't seen a DHL in forever. I'll see the planes once in a while, but I don't know. I know there are partnerships. I've even had credit cards mailed to me here from Chase, and they said we are sending it UPS and we're paying for it, and it showed up in a DHL package. Another time, I think it was a credit card or it was my Navy Federal ATM card. It demagnetized and they sent it to me. Now they charged me a whopping 12 baht or $12, and she couldn't be more apologetic, but I'm like, that is no problem. I will pay $12. Thank you so much. Because there are other banks, I'm talking to you, Bank of America, that have just shut me down. Like, forget it. You know, we're not sending you a card overseas. And I even called them out on that a little bit. Hey, you know, I've been a customer of yours for 30 something years, credit card wise, and I've never asked you for anything. I'm asking you to get me this credit card over here. I said, what if I were well, I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm over here for extended periods of time. I'm not saying I'm living here, but I'm not saying I'm here for 2 weeks. But I said, what if I were on vacation and that was my only credit card? You're telling me there's no way you would get that credit card to your customer and get them out of a jam? And she said no. And I did the old hang up and call back. Sometimes you'll get a different answer, and she said the exact same thing. So it's a little bit hit and miss. I've said it in other videos that Wells Fargo seems to be pretty tricky when they sense you're an expat, or if you were to say, this is my address in Thailand, send me this credit card here, oftentimes that will lead to some kind of discussion. Oh, what are you talking about? We have you listed as XYZ address in Denver, Colorado, and if you were to say, well, that's my old address, I live here now, it's problematic from what I understand. Again, I'm not trying to badmouth Wells Fargo. I've just heard that more than 3 or 4 times, where other banks, Navy Federal, who's the Army bank? It's not an Army bank, but USAA, is that it? These banks, they're all a little bit more flexible with working with folks that live overseas. Now me, I still use a U.S. address, and I'm living here, and like I say, I've taken advantage of, well, hey, you have my address in Florida, but I'm over here in Bangkok on an extended holiday visit, whatever you'd like to call it, so I'm going to need that credit card sent over here, that brand new Chase United card, and it's roger that. Now sometimes it'll be a little goofy, and they have to send the credit card to your home address. I've never applied for a credit card using a Thai address. I'm sure it's maybe possible in some way if you're a U.S. citizen. I'm not trying to pass out advice on things I know nothing about, but when I apply, and I've applied for several credit cards since I've been in Bangkok, I use my U.S. address, it gets approved, and then the card is automatically generated and sent to that address. I mean, the approval system, it doesn't know anything other than yes or no, and when it says yes, something is sent from some central location off to the address you told them. I then immediately call customer service and explain the situation. And I've heard it more than once. Basically what they say is, okay, a card is probably going to the U.S. address, and I'm sending you a quote-unquote replacement card. And yeah, I'll overnight it to you, you know, and I just paid $45 for that privilege. So again, I guess it depends on what kind of customer you are and what kind of relationship you have with the bank on whether they're going to do that or not. But then again, things change. It was Bank of America. I had Bank of America, FedEx, UPS, whatever it was, cards to me in the U.S. back when I was a heavy-duty card churner, points hacker, whatever you want to call it. We would apply for 5-6 credit cards every 91 days, was the cycle of your credit score and on, and your credit score would drop 15 points when you applied for 5 or 6 credit cards, and it'd go back up in day 89, and then you did it again. And a lot of these banks had some kind of screwy rule on applying for credit cards no sooner than 90 days. So knuckleheads like me, every 91 days, were getting those 5, 6 credit cards, pretty much one from every bank. And we had different ways, call it manufactured spending, of putting a whole bunch of money on those credit cards very fast. It nothing secretive. We bought tons of Visa, what are they called, gift cards, and then you take the Visa gift cards and turn them into Walmart money orders. You take the Walmart money orders, pay off the credit card bill, or do all kinds of other things, and there you go. Now you have whatever it is, 90,000 Alaska miles, 100,000 American miles, and on and on and on, and that's how guys like me are buzzing around in business and first class for free or next to free. But the sooner you got that card, the better. I don't want to get all nerdy on this, but when you get a new credit card, it's going to come with a closing date, and it's not necessarily the day you applied for the card. In other words, if today is make it up, the 10th of December, and you apply for a credit card, it just comes in the regular mail. Your closing date, let's say it shows up, I don't know, 7 days later, it shows up December 20th, and the closing date on the card, whatever the computer generated, might be December 27th. So that card shows up on the 20th. I want to immediately put whatever it is, $3,500 spend on that card the second I get it, because the next day after the closing date, again, if it was December, whatever I just said, December 27th, December 28th, you get your points. I know they always say 6 to 8 week wait and on and on. No. The only thing is, let's say you have to buy something expensive for $3,000, and that's how much you need to put on the credit card. What you have to keep in mind, that's why the quicker you get that card, the better, and find out what your closing date is, because let's say the second you get that card, you go put the spend on it, $3,000 whatever, you can't pay the card off immediately. You have to wait until it posts. And if you bought it at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday, it might not post until, say, Tuesday morning. So that would be the soonest you could pay it off. Again, nobody thinks this way besides travel hackers and points guy. But I'm just trying to explain, and I don't know if I'm doing a good job, how to get those points as soon as possible. Nobody wants, they'll say put $3,000 on the card in 90 days and then wait 6 to 8 weeks. No, look at the card you want to get and try to get it overnighted to you, expressed to you. Put that money on the card immediately, the second you get it. The second it posts, pay that card off, and within 2 weeks, if you get lucky, 3 weeks, it's sure going to be less than a month, you will have that 80,000 United points or whatever it is. Who wants to wait 5 months for the points? Forget that. And I know I just went down a points and mile nerd hole from just showing you where to do a DHL document, so maybe I lost you, but it's just a little bit of advice on how to get those miles a little quicker. I mean, you might say, yeah, I want that, whatever it is, 80,000 points from Chase on the Sapphire card, but I kind of need those points in a month, not in 4 months. Well, there's a way to do it. Go back and listen to what I just said and do it that way, and you'll get those points. And if you are thinking about a new travel card, I would really appreciate it if you'd use one of my links. At the top of my channel, there's a little section, I think it shows my email, and a little drop down for, hey, fake Nirvana shirts. A little drop down for links and some of my Chase cards. I'm mostly a Chase guy. I just love the Chase cards. And there are rules. You can only apply for whatever it is, 4 Chase cards within 24 months. I take that back. I think Chase, they have clamped down mostly because of guys like me that hit those cards so hard and took them for millions of airline miles. But the nasty little secret that nobody wants to talk about, the airlines, unless this is no longer true, but I had heard this, it was kind of a favorite saying at airline points conventions I used to go to, the airlines actually make more money selling miles to credit card companies than customers buying airline tickets, because most of those airline miles go wasted. There's only so many people like me that are going to take 70,000 American miles and cash them in for a one-way business class ticket on Japan Airlines. Well, they are clearly losing money on me. The other guy that's going to get that credit card, get the whatever it is, 70,000 points, and go get a couple of magazine subscriptions or some $110 laptop, that they're clearly hoping every person is going to do. But yeah, don't do that. Just take a look at the value of those miles and yeah, get in those business and first class seats. And I probably shouldn't have started talking about that Chase rule because I don't have it memorized. I can't remember. I think it's, again, I'm guessing, I think you can only get 5 Chase cards in a 24-month period, but again, I forget. Different banks are starting to come up with different rules. Again, because of guys like me, you'll have to go to a website, or yeah, I guess it's a website called Flyer Talk, and get all the little ins and outs. I don't push it as hard as I used to. Now I know the credit cards I like, and I know I'm allowed to get that bonus every, call it 48 months, and I'll do just that. I'll close the card and reopen it and get the bonus again. That's easy. But when you get into splitting hairs on whether they're gonna look at your credit report and see that you applied for 4 other credit cards within 90 days, and even if they're at different banks, they might get a little fussy with your application, you're gonna have to do your homework on that. I'm just not keeping up with the rules like I used to. And you always know when the rain is in the forecast, they're putting the different covers up. I'm walking from the malls, getting over to the BTS. Boone just texted, is it raining here? And I said, not yet, but you can feel it's coming. Yesterday, she told me it was pouring over there, and it wasn't raining here at all. I kind of hustled home, and it never did rain, so even 5 miles away, you're gonna get different cells. So sorry again about nerding out on the airline miles. It's just a hobby of mine, and hey, I like flying up in the front of the plane, but it's worth about $100 to me, not $10,000. And I figured out a way to do it for $100, more than I care to count. A lot of times, including coming back. This trip back from California, I was in United's Polaris, and I'm even not, how do I put it? I'm not snobbish about it, but I was really trying to get on AVA, EVA, whatever you want to call them, in their business class product from LA to Taipei to Bangkok. And the best I could do was, again, listen to me, the best I can do was United's Polaris business class on a United plane from San Francisco to Taipei, and then AVA from there to Bangkok. Again, it's beautiful, but nerds like me, I remember clearly having a chance, and I lived in San Diego, to fly on the 787 in business class. It was a non-lie flat seat. It was kind of a weird seat. They still have them. It's on the older plane, the 788, the 787-800. The 787-900 has a lie flat seat, but they don't fly that plane to San Diego. It's right. It used to be every day, and now they fly it, I think, 3 times a week. I don't know. I even didn't take it coming home just because of that seat. Instead, I took a commuter flight up to San Francisco to get in the lie flat United Polaris seat. Again, first world problems, but if you're gonna do all that work to get those miles and points. Then you take a look at, all right, what's the best plane I can get on? And right now, everybody wants to get on ANA's new A350 business because it comes with its own little mini pod with a door, and I could care less about these doors. Everybody's all how nice it is. It's like you're flying private. You go in there and close your little door. I could care less about that. What I really enjoy is the lie flat bed. And if I have my choice, if I'm gonna go from LA to Hong Kong to Bangkok, I would 100 times want to do that on a Cathay Pacific plane rather than the AA flight. Just the level of service with any of the Asian airlines, really. Not so much the Chinese airlines, that's a little cutthroat, but any of your Singapore, Ava, Cathay, Starlux is the new player in town. I haven't flown them yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. They just go out of their way. I went on Japan first class, and the pilot came out and introduced himself to me. So it's just that kind of level of service. And I know the rain's coming. You just have to pick your spots. Are you going to rush home every time it starts sprinkling because it could turn into a huge storm? Well, you're going to be rushing home often, because that's going to happen all the time. Or you just get on with your life and head where you're heading, and if you get wet, so be it. It's not gonna ruin my day. I have my little umbrella, and you just do the best you can. Traffic's not that bad for 510. This is coming up Sukhumvit, heading towards the Prampong BTS station, and way off in the background is a Sulk, Terminal 21, that whole area. And I don't think I'm gonna have any beers today. I gotta make a bunch of phone calls at about midnight, I think. That's the issue. If you're going to be living on the other side of the world, you're gonna have to work with those time changes in order to talk to people at 9, 10 in the morning. It's better on the East Coast. It's kind of a 12-hour thing, but with California and daylight savings and all that, it gets a little goofy. It doesn't really bother me because I'm normally up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, but I need to have a clear head for some of these discussions, so it's not a matter of hanging out with my buddies and all, and then midnight I got to get home and get on the phone. That's not such a great idea. So when I have these important calls, it's kind of a, well, let's play it cool this evening. And I am going to wander over to O'Shea's right now, because I think my one buddy said he was hanging out in there, but I'm just going to have a little dinner. Hey, so there you go. I'm going to go ahead and put my phone down and not bother my friend making a video. I hang out with a lot of guys over here, and I try not to be that guy. Every time they see me, I'm doing one of these little videos. I know I put them out usually every day, or at least I try to. So I have to come up with the content, but I don't need to be bugging my buddies with it. It's not their hobby. So thank you again, and we will see you very, very soon. Hopefully those, well, I don't know how big a tip it was, that at least I showed you where the DHL was. If whatever the case is, you accidentally brought your whatever it is, your girlfriend's driver's license over here with you, and you got to get that back to her, check out that DHL at the M Quartier. We'll see you later. You have a great evening.